the former president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Baba Olusegun Obasanjo, GCFR, I have the Secretary to the State Government, Professor Olanike Adeyemo, the Head of Service, Mrs. Olubunmi Oni, MNI, the Regional Director for CGIR and DG for IITA, Dr. Simon Ehiu, the Honorable Commissioners from Oyo State that are present here, also the representative of the Federal Ministry of Agri, our friend from Akwa Ibom, you're welcome to Oyo State. The driver of this initiative, Dr. Debo Akande and your team, other political functionaries of Oyo State that are present here, permanent secretaries, heads of non-ministerial departments and agencies, and for my team in IITA, because I'm also one of you, I'm not just a research person yet. So you're duly recognized. Moderators, panelists, and participants for this summit. And let me especially recognize the team that came with Baba President Obasanjo, especially Otumba Oyewole Fashawe. You are recognized. Other eminent personalities, distinguished invited guests, gentlemen of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I want to start by thanking the organizers of this event for giving me another opportunity to speak on a topic that is very, very dear to my heart. Anyone who has followed the story of Oyo State will know that our activities in this state can be defined in one phrase: economic turnaround for prosperity. And before I came into politics, running for office in 2019, I came out with the roadmap for accelerated development of Oyo State. And this simple thing in there is how do we take our people from poverty to prosperity? So this is not just a catchphrase. We saw the big picture and we took deliberate steps to achieve our vision through policy and strategy. We're here today to talk about food security. So please permit me to adopt the definition of the United Nations Committee on World Food Security. So food security is about having physical, social, and economic access to sufficient, safe, and nutritious food that meets dietary needs and food preferences for an active and healthy life. And that in Oyo State we call prosperity. Because even in Yoruba, they will say, sorry for those that does not speak this heavenly language. They say, tí ebi bá ti kúrò nínú ìṣẹ́, ìṣẹ́ bùṣe. So if you can have food security, poverty is halfway gone. So from the get-go, it was clear that we could not attain prosperity or food security without economic recalibration. We inherited a state that was doing poorly on economic indices. Internally generated revenue was low for a state that has a rich history of economic development and was close to the country's commercial capital. Lagos is 120 kilometers away from here. Even right now, I feel the pressure. 120 kilometers to the to the south from where we are. Every month they do an IGR of about 65 billion naira every month. And here in Oyo State, we're doing, when we came in, it was 1.8 billion naira monthly. But now we've managed to push it close to 4 billion. Yeah, double what we met in 4 years, but in terms of where we want to be, we're just not, we haven't scratched the surface. So we have to find a way to stimulate the economy quickly. Our comparative advantage was that we had arable land. So if we were to achieve accelerated development, we have to build our economy around this advantage. Your state is 28,000 plus square kilometers. Lagos State is only 3,000 plus. Even Ibadan alone is over 7,000 square kilometers. So Ibadan, just the 11 local governments in Ibadan is twice the size of the entire Lagos State. So it was a no-brainer that we had to leverage on agriculture and agribusiness. But we were not content with practicing agriculture like it was done in the past. We didn't say, oh, let us get small other farmers together, give them seeds and fertilizers so they can feed our people. That will be a political solution to food security. And my experience, thank God Baba is here, because there's nothing I will say that he doesn't know about. Baba was Federal Commissioner for Works, military head of state, civilian president. So he has seen it all. When I came here on this job, you can do the work, or you can just relax and coast along. People will talk, and then you get bloggers, to keep spinning things out, and then there'll be arguments, like what fella will say. I be thief, you know be thief. Argument. So argument will spring forth. But that's not what we want to do in Oyo State. So we needed an economic solution driven by data and research. We knew that achieving food security required a new way of thinking about agriculture. So one of the new agencies we set up to drive this new way of thinking about agriculture was the Oyo State Agribusiness Development Agency, IITA, headed by Dr. Debo Akande, and the former DG here, Dr. Saginga, was gracious enough to say, look, we can share Debo with you. He can work with the government of Oyo State and still do part of his work here. That is an advantage that we had, because IITA is located here in Ibadan. So I thank IITA, I thank the current DG, because we've continued also in that same trajectory. So I always say that Dr. Makinde has been instrumental in pushing a new way of practicing agriculture in Oyo State. And I can tell the whole world that this is yielding dividend to us in Oyo State today. To achieve this change, we focused on partnerships that drive agribusiness, working with the private sector and development organizations. Oyo State started on a path to creating a competitive advantage through agribusiness. It was a learning curve for us. For example, we set up the Fashola Agribusiness Industrial Hub. When I went there with Baba, the day he came to commission the road from Oyo to Iseyin, we saw a plaque out there where I think Baba was there, his first term as president, maybe I think 2001 or 2002. They commissioned a project in there, but there's no road. So it was abandoned. So we planned to do 3 hubs in our first 4 years, but ended up with just one, Fashola. We're going to do Irua, also Ijaye. But we couldn't, because the trouble was quite enormous. But we've learned, and we can move quickly on those other hubs now. So it taught us what we must do to turn Oyo State into a modern agribusiness hub in sub-Saharan Africa. One key lesson is that we can only achieve agricultural development by attracting large investment in agriculture. To get these investors interested in our state, we needed to provide supporting infrastructure. Not just roads. You need security. People they want to come into this state and feel secure. I'm glad also that I can see Mr. Adepoju here today. He is building a sugar manufacturing plant just on the outskirts of Iseyin. So I was inspecting the road from Oyo to Iseyin. So I stopped by his place, and I said to him that, look, how can we support you, to get this project completed quickly? And he said, well, first, this road that you're fixing from Oyo to Iseyin is a big game changer for me. But the sweetener, even though is sugar manufacturing, but he asked for. He said the sweetener is the other road that we're building from Iseyin to Ogbomoso, because his plantation, his sugar plantation, is on the other side of the road, and that road will be commissioned. The 76.6 kilometers Iseyin to Ogbomoso will be commissioned on the 30th of May this year. And it's not about bragging. We started that road, there's nothing in there. The road was not in existence. We built 2 bridges over Ogun River, and then one very close to Ogbomoso. Only in 2 years. 76.6 kilometers. And the federal people think states cannot be responsible. I beg to differ. States are closer to the people, and they can drive the strategy to actually take this country from poverty to prosperity. So we needed to provide all this infrastructure. So Fashola is the success story today because we provided the primary infrastructure required. We built 4 state factories within the hub, provided security, and are working on meeting the energy needs of the industries there, apart from the road that we fixed. The bridge over Ogun River out there used to be a single-lane bridge, but now, traffic will flow both ways. So, of course, we will apply the lessons we learned from Fashola as we proceed with the other 2 hubs in Erua and Akufo. Over the last 5 years, our economy has received a big boost. We achieved the growth in IGR and GDP. However, to achieve the level of food security we envisage, more is required. Food security, like business, has a demand and supply side. To achieve an equilibrium, the supply of research, innovation, partnership, and policy should match food availability, affordability, and accessibility. So I believe that during the conversation we'll have today under this Agribusiness for Food Security Initiative agenda, we will discover even better ways of matching policy with action to give our people more access to nutritious and safe food. Before I conclude these opening remarks, let me state that we will struggle with increased productivity in Oyo State, which underscores the need for further research and innovation. The IITA is doing much in this regard. We have an ongoing collaboration at Fashola where they are field testing improved seeds, a key driver of food security. So our vision is to move from the point where our farmers are struggling with yields per hectare to creating an environment where more people work across the agribusiness value chain, especially in research and innovation for greater productivity. So let me again thank my IITA team and all of the investors, Madam Sultry, Tony, all of you that have believed in driving agribusiness forward in Oyo State. So I'll thank the IITA team for this opportunity to set the tone for the conversations we'll be having today. We're providing a template that can be easily scaled to support food security, just like the DG IITA said, not just in Nigeria, but also in West Africa sub-region and the continent. And we dare to dream big. We can do it. Ibadan used to be the intellectual hub, not for Nigeria, but for this continent. So, please be my guest. Thank you, and God bless you.